What's going on, everybody? It's Popular Video Games here, chilling out, Max. Now doing my thing. All right, y'all. Welcome to my prediction series, The Flash, Season 3. Now the episodes will be coming out once a week instead of every other day. Now it's taking a lot more work and detail for these episodes. All right, let's get into this. Now the episode starts off with Wally racing off to see Iris. He runs into the police station. He gets there and runs into Eddie, chief of police. Eddie tells him that Iris is on a case, going to a supposed tip on a warehouse Metas are using to sell children and torture high-ranking officers of the resistance and military officials. Now, Wally races off to look for Iris. Meanwhile, Iris is in the car with her partner Patty. Now, they are just looking for this tip while Patty starts up a conversation. Now, Patty and Iris talked about how this war has taken enough from them, and why can't the Flash just round them up all and be done, Patty says. Iris says it's not that simple. Patty rebuttals saying that if I had powers, I would be able to do it. Patty says they were just in the right place at the right time. Iris looks out the window with a sad expression when she notices something flying towards them. Now, this object hits the car, sending it over into a wall, extremely hurting Patty's shoulder and giving Iris a bloody head. Iris crawls out of the car to see two flying people staring down at her. They land. It's Kendra and Carter. Patty stretches out the car and starts shooting. Carter flies off. Kendra goes after Iris. Iris tries to pull out her gun, but instead is slashed in the left breast by Kendra. Now, Iris lays there bleeding with her chest completely split open, but not enough to mortally wound her, but it is a bloody bath. Carter's flying around, dodging Patty's bullets when he comes down and sends Patty flying on a nearby car, to knocking her out. Now, Carter is about to deliver the finishing blow when he is stopped by Wally, running and kicking Carter, sending him flying into a brick wall, breaking his wing. Kendra screams, "Carter!" and goes flying towards him. Wally runs to Iris to check on her. Iris says that she's doing alright, but check and see how Patty is doing. Wally says you're clearly bloody. She says to check on Patty. He runs and grabs Patty to bring her over to where Iris is sitting. Kendra, with a worried look on her face, flies over to Carter. She asks if he's alright. He responds saying that he's been better. Backup arrives, and the Anti-Mutant Human Task Force starts firing on Kendra and Carter, telling them to freeze. They try to fight back, but Carter gets shot in the leg. Kendra gets shot in the arm, and then they comply. The task force arrests them. They start to walk into the police van when out of nowhere a fireball shoots and incinerates Carter. Kendra screams, and then a voice says, "You guys are just as useless in this life as all the others. No wonder you couldn't kill him." Kendra looks to see and screams, "Firestarter." But he says, "My name's Firestorm." He shoots a fireball and Wally runs to pull all of them out of the area before the fireball hits the ground. While the Flash is running, he notices an ice beam coming towards him. He manages to dodge it. He looks up and he sees Killer Frost standing. Now, she makes an ice wall in the alley to block the Flash's way to get her. As he's trying to get through, he hears screams, turns around. Firestorm has a child and a mother. Firestorm demands that he stay still, and Wally complies. Frost freezes his feet. Once that happens, Firestorm smiles and burns the mother and daughter alive. Wally screams, "No!" and vibrates to break the ice. He runs for Firestorm, dodging the fire blast being thrown towards him. Wally, wanting to get a height advantage on Firestorm, begins running up buildings. Firestorm gets what he's trying to do and starts destroying the buildings. Then he figures out, let me destroy where he's actually going. He destroys a big section of the building, making Wally fall, hitting the ground. Firestorm is about to finish Wally off with a big fire blast when Kendra hits Firestorm with the mace, sending him flying out the air. Firestorm gets up angrily and fires a ball at Kendra. Now Wally manages to run past the fireball and grab Kendra, pulling her out the way. Killer Frost hiding in the shadow, sees the opportunity to kill Iris and Patty. She throws an icicle at them. Wally manages to see that in no time, runs over, grabs the icicle, and sticks it into Killer Frost's ribcage, making her cough up blood. Firestorm immediately shoots fire at Wally, completely going crazy as he goes over to Killer Frost. Now, he grabs her in his arm as she's in pain and looks at Wally and says, "This isn't over." And Wally says, "Yeah, I bet it's not." Firestorm flies off with Killer Frost in his arms. Wally looks down at the tag he got from Killer Frost once he stabbed her. It said IQ. He remembers the tag on Firestorm when he ran by saying FS, and because of Kendra, he now knows that means Firestorm or Firestarter. Back at the Queen's Enterprise, Vandal Savage is sitting at a dining hall with Queen and the leaders of the military divisions. They're having a pleasant conversation until Vandal Savage feels Carter's essence being drawn into him. Queen asks if anything is wrong, and Vandal Savage smiles, said it's nothing, nothing at all. The leaders discuss about Trough. Vandal Savage angrily said, "Where are they getting this technology?" One of the generals jokingly said that our scientists have been trying to mimic this. They've been trying to analyze it. They've even come up with prototypes, but those prototypes ended up blowing up in our faces. This technology is beyond our comprehension. It's almost like it's something from the future. Vandal Savage gets quiet. The general said that he might have said something wrong. Vandal Savage says, "No, actually, you might have said something right." Vandal Savage discussed how a mysterious visitor came to him 50 years ago and warned of a catastrophe coming. The stranger told him to get into a great position so he can lead the people out of this great catastrophe. Vandal Savage did not understand at the time, but he did comply, and now look where he is. Now, he said that it could be time travel. Amanda Waller laughs, everybody else laughs. Vandal Savage says he's serious. And then Amanda Waller says that you've been around for thousands of years and time travel is what you have to come up with. He says, yes, time travel. It's impossible, like immortality. The room gets quiet. He says next time we catch not just the weapons, but keep the person alive as well, even if he's not willing to cooperate. I do have some scientists that can manipulate his brainstem and cause him to still use the weapon to our advantage. Now, back at the Arrow Cave, Cisco detects minor traces of the Speed Force in Barry and relayed electric stimulation to get his powers back. It only hurt Barry. Felicity's upstairs. Thea walks in and goes completely nuts on Cisco and Barry for trying that. And then Barry explains that that's the only way to get his powers back, but Thea says that this can kill you. So Cisco said, "Okay, look, I'm not trying to mess with the lady." He drops the electric inducers. Everyone gets quiet and looks at each other for a sec when Diggle walks in. Thea looks around and starts smiling. Now Cisco and Barry look at each other and then they look at Thea. They kind of figure something's going on. Diggle says, "How is everybody doing?" And he looked at Barry and he asked what was going on. Thea told him. He goes completely crazy on them too. And Cisco said, "Wow, parents, round two." And then Barry just starts laughing. And Diggle says it's not funny. And of course Thea goes right back and says it's not funny as well. Now, Thea talks to Diggle saying that, "Can we talk for a minute?" And then they walk out. And then Cisco looks at Barry and says, "Do you think that there's something going on?" And then Barry's like, "Yeah, I kind of do think it." They laugh. Now, Barry contacts Wally to see where he's at. Wally says that he is on the case, but Iris did get hurt. After hearing that, Barry gets up and runs to his car to go see Iris. When Cisco screams for him to come back immediately, he screams for everybody. Now, on the monitor, it says, "Breaking news, hospital fire in Central City." Barry looks horrified. Now, on the hospital, it has flames written in it. It says, "Barry, come out to play." Everyone looks at Barry. Barry's angry and begins to run back towards the car. Cisco and everyone else break in order to figure out what was this. And Cisco said it's the Black Flash. And then Felicity said, "How can you be so sure?" Cisco said, "Believe me, I'm sure." And the episode ends. Guys, thanks for watching my prediction series. Make sure to stay tuned because, like I said, next week I'm coming out with another one. These episodes are now taking a little bit longer and they're going a little bit more in depth. I also had to change a little bit of the story around to include the Black Racer. So it is a lot of work being put into this. Also, I'm supposed to be in some big position at a company Monday for an interview. Like, I'm going there, so I'm really trying to work to get this out before then. Guys, thanks so much for the support. You know, all these hundreds of views, thousands of views on that first episode have really really been awesome. Thanks again so much. The whole new way I'm bringing the channel with the prediction videos, you guys are loving it, and I'm loving doing it for you. So make sure to stay tuned for that. This has been your homeboy, Popular Video Games, here. Peace out, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and talk to you laters.